This is actually very, very clever. So we all know the main focus of the hospitality industry is to get as many people through their doors. There's a saying in the industry, bums in beds and bums in seats. But it's also important to get people back into the beds for a long time as well, not just once off. A new e-gifting platform is going to help get this done. Isipo is the name. Isipo is aiming to help the industry sell experiences, not just trips, not just tours. Let's try and find out how this actually all works. It sounds very, very clever. Reginald Sebeko is from Micros SA. Is it Micros or Micros? Reginald, morning to you. Please correct me if I mispronounce that as well. And help me understand, good morning, the experience economy. What is that all about? Good morning.
Good morning. You've pronounced it correctly. It's Micros South Africa, a company owned by Adapt IT.
And so tell me this experience economy. So I keep stumbling over it. I'm trying to get my tongue around it as well. Experience economy. What exactly does that mean?
Experience economy, the concept of experience came about because, as you know, we had a lockdown. We had the hospitality completely shut during the COVID lockdowns. And what we are saying about the platform, which is the Isipo online e-gifting platform, is that rather than trying to sell hospitality rooms or hospitality tables, we are saying to our partners who are merchants, the hospitality industry, create experiences, and therefore the concept of experience economy, where individuals out there can purchase experiences instead of purchasing a hotel room.
Because I'm taking a look at some of the numbers here. I mean, digital experiences have grown by an astonishing 116%. So, I mean, how do you try and get someone to move away from a tourist experience or a real-life experience, I suppose in this case, over to a digital experience? Because that growth is phenomenal. How are you getting it right?
So the whole concept, and you would obviously have seen that throughout lockdown, the human behavior had to slightly change and adapt to a much more virtual one. And what we've seen is these type of models are driven by the human behavior that has completely changed. It's not us creating platforms and then driving the change. The change is driving the platforms that have been created in the digital space. The only way we can explain it is that we are catering for the behavior that has completely changed. It's shifted from people who used to go to, for example, let's talk about your retail experience. It used to be very much in contact. You'd have to go to a retail store. And today, most South Africans actually sit at home and just purchase their retail requirements.
When you now start looking at how current tourism destinations, current agencies, for example, try and put this into their system, as I was right now, you're quite right. The main focus is always going to be just get bums into beds, but now it's becoming a lot more experiential as well. How difficult is it to get current organizations, current travel companies, tourism companies to adopt something like this? Because I imagine, like the rest of us, they're all creatures of habit. They know what to do because they've been doing it a long time. How difficult is the change to implement?
It hasn't been that difficult, to be quite frank. There is obviously some adjustment, some cultural shift that needs to happen within the hospitality industry. But as an example, I'll give you an idea. I pitched this to a CEO who owns a restaurant group that is a sit-down restaurant group. And I said, this is what we are bringing to the market. And said to me, wow, this is quite a great innovative way of looking at hospitality going forward. I can actually partner with an associate of mine who owns a helicopter business, and we can offer an experience where we can say you can have an experience as a couple, fly around Cape Town, for example, with a dinner for two, ending off at one of our hotels for a romantic night. So there is an appetite from the industry to try looking at what else can we do, because the reality is we need to start positioning South Africa and not just as a beautiful country, but an experienced country.
Yeah, and
we want people to come in experience our country.
I can see that people are also wanting to come here for luxury travel, guided cultural activities, wellness tourism. I see is a big one as well. And this is everything that you're trying to now get right. It's very, very clever. Managing Director at Micros SA, Reginald Sabeko, making time for me this morning. So if